What's up, guys? Now, you probably know that young Dolph, sadly, has been shot and killed. That shooting took place on November 17th, not too long ago. Dolph was pronounced dead, and since then, fans have been mourning the loss, and media has been covering a lot of the topics about the man. So we're going to be covering a few of the things that we think the media isn't talking enough about. Be sure to watch until the end of the video to find out how young Dolph narrowly escaped death in the past. Young Dolph was an independent artist. One thing that young Dolph was never too shy to admit, but isn't being talked about enough, is the fact that he was an independent artist that went on to start his own label, Paper Route Empire. Now, independent artists are becoming more common, but back in the late 2000s and the early 2010s, you didn't really have too many. Because when you are independent, it means that you get to keep control of literally everything you make, which is great, but it also means that most of your funding and advertising comes out of your own money. You have to be able to afford the come up before you start making money. It's a super grind and very impressive. Some of the greatest artists in the industry have made names for themselves as independent artists, but it's not a cakewalk, so kudos to them. Some of the biggest as of right now are rappers like Tech9, Hopsin, or Chance the Rapper. And make no mistake, young Dolph is on that list for sure. May he rest in peace.
It's like I'm a loner, bro. I do better and come up with it better, and I make money, do a lot. I do everything better, bro, just being by myself.
Young Dolph and Yo Gotti beef. One of the biggest issues with a fellow artist that Dolph ever had happened to be with another huge name that came out of Memphis. That artist is, of course, Yo Gotti. And over the years that the two have been at each other's throats, it would seem like they both still consider themselves to be the king of Memphis. Now, if you know hip-hop, then you most likely know who Yo Gotti is. He's been in the game since the mid-90s when his first album dropped. His beef with Dolph came from the fact that Gotti was trying to sign him, and I guess Dolph didn't want anything to do with that. And it wasn't out of disrespect for Gotti or anything malicious like that. It's just that, as we said before, Dolph always wanted to be independent, so he wasn't going to sign with anybody. But obviously, Gotti was upset that he got turned down, and the two seemed to be not as cool with one another anymore. Things got really tense between the two back in 2016, when young Dolph decided to clear the air about Gotti and his opinion of him. On Twitter, Dolph would write, "He went from being my #1 fan and wanting me to sign to being my biggest hater," when speaking about his relationship with Gotti. The two would continue to go back and forth over social media, but you could tell that Dolph didn't come to play when he dropped a diss track that was meant to be directed right at Gotti. The track was called Play With Your and instantly started raking in the streams. Fans believe that Gotti responded by dropping the track Don't Beef With Me, though he doesn't officially name Dolph in the song. The two would continue to go back and forth, at least until 2017. That was when Dolph decided that he didn't have time for that anymore, at least at that time. During an interview that he was doing with Charlamagne the God and The Breakfast Club, he let it be known that he was ready to put it all to bed. He could be quoted as saying, "I'm sick of that. That whole situation is lame. The group of people, everything. It's not even in my category." Now, I know it doesn't sound like he and Gotti would ever be close. It seemed like he was done with all that back and forth nonsense.
It's cool. I really don't know that even matter to me.
Young Dolph has been shot at multiple times. Now, something that you might know about, or you might not, is the fact that young Dolph had actually been shot at on multiple occasions before the one that ultimately ended his life. One time, he was allegedly shot at around 100 times and came out unscathed. How crazy is that?
You shoot 100 times and ain't no nothing shake, no nothing, nobody hit, no nothing. I need to find another hobby. I need to find something else to do.
And another time could have very well been the end of his life, but he would come out of the incident ready to continue his hip-hop career. The first incident we want to talk about happened back in 2017. Actually, they both happened in 2017, but this one came first. The incident occurred on February 25th, 2017. On the day that Dolph had been set to hit the stage in Charlotte, North Carolina. However, while driving around the area, someone must have spotted him and tried to get the jump on him. It was around 6:30 at night near the intersection of 8th and North Caldwell Street. Dolph had pulled up and was sitting at the top, waiting for his turn. While he was sitting at his SUV, someone ended up pulling up on him and unloaded over 100 shots into his bulletproof SUV. Not only was he lucky enough to come out of the shooting without a scratch on him, but Dolph went on to perform at the event like he was supposed to. At first, fans believed that Yo Gotti was involved in the shooting, but as it would turn out, one of the artists signed to his label ended up being picked up for the shooting. Black Youngsta, along with 2 other men, were picked up and said to be involved in the shooting, though to this day, he denies all and any involvement in what happened to Dolph. Although young Dolph walked away from that shooting without taking a hit, the same can't be said for the incident that happened later that same year. In September of 2017, Dolph was chilling out in LA, and he was at the Lowe's Hollywood Hotel where he ended up getting into a verbal argument outside with somebody. That verbal argument ended up turning physical, and a fistfight broke out. It is being said that at some point during the incident, Dolph was knocked to the ground, and the person he was fighting pulled out a handgun and began to pull the trigger. Dolph was lucky enough to make a full recovery following the shooting, and the alleged shooter was picked up shortly after the incident.
Bullets fly near the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Tourists ducking and a rap artist was hit and seriously injured. Tonight, police say an ugly rivalry may be behind that shooting.
Final thoughts. As you know, this last time that Dolph was shot at, he didn't make it out alive. All we can say is, rest in peace to young Dolph. The hip-hop industry lost a talented artist. Keep your thoughts and prayers with his family, and let's just hope they get the people who did this. For now, be sure to subscribe to stay in tune with all of our hip-hop news and information. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on our next upload. Until next time, stay safe out there.